Hello and welcome to Galaxy Primetime News. My name is Nanwar Gimasaka. I will begin with the headlines. The federal government and the United States of America signed a memorandum of understanding to repatriate the sum of $53 million stolen funds back to Nigeria. The defense headquarters says Nigerian troops have neutralized 109 terrorists, arrested 81 criminal elements, and destroyed 10 illegal refineries in the last 1 week. On the foreign scene, the largest of the raging wildfire that have devastated part of Los Angeles this week is reported to have shifted direction, triggering more evacuation orders. Details of these and more will come to you shortly. Do stay with us. And on the news in full. The federal government and the United States of America have signed a memorandum of understanding to repatriate the sum of $53 million stolen funds back to Nigeria. The forfeited assets were part of funds of the Katika assets linked to former Minister of Petroleum Desiani Alison Madueke. Correspondent Kulujo reports that the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi, while speaking during the signing ceremony in Abuja, described the occasion as a memorable one for both countries. He explained how the funds will be used to finance some critical projects in the country.
Nigeria. Today, the execution of the asset return agreement between the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the United States of America concretizes the repatriation of approximately $52.88 million United States dollars arising from the forfeiture of the Galactica assets linked to the former Petroleum Resources Minister, Desiani Alison Madueke and her associates. This event is not only a testament to the unwavering commitment of our nations to fight corruption, but also signifies the commitment of the United States of America to facilitating restitution and supporting integrity and accountability in governance.
The elated AGF also expressed gratitude to the United States government for its steadfast support and cooperation in making the agreement a reality. In his response, the U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, Richard Mills, expressed the U.S. government's trust in the Nigerian government's determination to use the funds for the benefit of Nigerians.
Funds corruptly taken from Nigeria and that will be returned now to the benefit of the Nigerian people. This agreement, I think, marks a significant milestone, as the minister said, in the ongoing collaboration between our two governments in combating corruption, upholding the rule of law, and recovering stolen funds from the Nigerian people so they can be returned to the benefit of the Nigerian people. The disbursement of this nearly $53 million has been agreed upon through negotiations between our two governments. And as we heard, $50 million will be used through the World Bank to expand the electric grid in Nigeria through an existing World Bank program, to expand electrical renewable energy through electricity in rural areas of Nigeria.
Countries is a significant affirmation of the resolve of President Bola Tinubu to build a Nigeria that is free from the shackles of corruption. The signing of agreements between Nigeria government and the United States of America signifies the culmination of efforts by the stakeholders to return fortified assets linked to the former Minister of Petroleum, Desiani Alison Madueke. Nigeria's national power grid has recorded its first major collapse for the first time in 2025, barely 10 days into the new year. The collapse has resulted in a nationwide blackout to the despair of Nigerians. This incident marks the 13th occurrence in the past 13 months. Concurrently, power generation has dropped from 2111.01 megawatts as of 2 p.m. to 390.20 megawatts by 3 p.m. This development was confirmed through a post by the Energy Podcast stating Nigeria, a national grid, suffers major collapse first in 2025. Another post said restoration to 40 p.m. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Defense Headquarters Abuja, Major General Edward Buba, on Saturday said Nigerian troops on operation across various parts of the country have and destroyed 10 illegal refineries in the last 1 week. He said 9 AK-47 rifles, 5 fabricated rifles, 4 Dane guns, 3 locally made pistols, 7 magazines, 97 rounds of 7.62 mm special ammo, 22 rounds of 7.62 mm NATO, 5 live cartridges, 3 Baofeng radios, 4 vehicles, 6 motorcycles, and 4 mobile phones, among other items, were recovered from the dreaded criminals during the operations. General Buba, who disclosed this in a statement issued and made available to journalists in Abuja on Saturday, said the troops also arrested 6 oil thieves and rescued 43 kidnapped victims. According to him, during one of the troops' operations in the Niger Delta region, 10 illegal refining sites were discovered and destroyed, while 10 crude oil cooking ovens, 10 dugout pits, 12 boats, and 4 storage tanks were recovered from the criminals. The troops recovered 631,709 liters of stolen crude oil, 3,140 liters of illegally refined diesel, and 250,000 liters of petrol in the past week. Other items recovered include 3 pumping machines, 12 speedboats, 20 drums, 2 motorcycles, 1 mobile phone, and 4 vehicles, among others. And still on security, Lagos State Police Command is set to deploy drones for security surveillance in and around the state. This was made known by the State Commissioner of Police, Olakunle Shola, while addressing newsmen at the first parade of suspect in the year 2025. The parade of suspect is an attestation that the State Police Command is doing a lot to keep the state safe. Among the suspects are kidnappers, armed robbers, cultists. CP Shola said the command, with the support of Inspector General of Police Kayode Betekun, is set to deploy all necessary mechanisms needed to provide adequate security for the people.
Constructive in the sense that you are a lady who is on the fast lane. A group of boy or boys, or a group of boys, will lure you from your enclave to Lagos, send you flight ticket business class to fly to Lagos, send you 500,000 naira to come to Lagos, lodge you in 5-star hotel. You'll be feeling like Aretha Franklin that you are right, not knowing that it's just a bait. I've rescued not less than 16 ladies.
Also, Uber drivers were advised to be mindful of the type of people they render services to, because 4 young guys between ages of 17 and 22 years were among the suspects in parade for killing an Uber driver at Ipaja area of Lagos.
4 of them flagged down a ride and killed the driver of the Uber. I would like to tell Lagosians, especially people involved in this Uber team, Taxify, lag ride, and all these stuff. Be wary of your passengers. If it's possible, don't carry more than 1 passenger at a time, and insist such a fellow is searched and make him sit at the front with you.
Various evidence, including large number of arms and ammunition with 2 AK rifle, are stolen from a police station during NSAS protests in 2020, and a blood-stained knife used to stab the Uber driver by the 4 boys. Also, the Nigeria Police Force has issued a strong warning against the spread of fake news and disinformation, stressing that such actions would undermine public trust and threaten national security. The Force Public Relations Officer, ACP Olumuyiwa Adijobi, while parading suspects arrested in connection with fake news, highlighted the risk posed by individuals who use social media platforms to incite unrest. He revealed that on December 8, 2024, police operatives arrested a 38-year-old in connection with such crime. The suspect, according to him, is accused of operating multiple social media accounts to spread false and provocative content aimed at discrediting the Nigeria police. He reiterated the Nigeria Police Force zero-tolerance policy towards activities that destabilize the nation or tarnish the reputation of government institutions, while emphasizing that spreading fake news is a criminal act under Nigerian law with serious penalties for offenders. The police urged the public to be responsible when sharing information online, urging caution against content that could threaten national peace and security.
The NPF has vowed to go after those who are dangerous individuals who are bent on spreading fake news to run down the system, to create fears in the minds of Nigerians, to jeopardize our security arrangements, and of course, cause brouhaha in any part of this country. Let us make use of our online platforms, social media platforms, to assist our society and our communities, to assist the police and other law enforcement agencies to actually carry out their mandates as expected of them.
At first, I don't really know, especially this particular one, I don't know that it was an old news.
But you're on social media?
Yes, I didn't know.
You've been on social media for the past two years. No, this is not the first time police will be debunking this particular case. I'm
not just there full time. At times I do it. At times, sometimes.
So you don't monitor social media, but you live out of social media.
Yes, I don't. Honestly, I didn't know that this particular one, it was a fake. I just saw it.
Okay. You analyze the budget for the office of the vice president and the president. That they said they are spending 9-point-something billion for refreshment. Have you seen the proposed budget yourself?
I have not seen it.
Have you done the analysis of the budget allocation?
No, sir.
So why did you come on here to say they said according to information? Have you verified the information? What is the source of the information? Then you came online to do analysis and attacking this proposal. Did you verify?
Security guards at the National Institute of Public Information in Kaduna escaped death by whiskers on early morning of Friday when daredevil criminals tied them up to carry out the vandalism of the transformer in the Institute compound. Reports from the area alleged that the criminals, whose numbers cannot be ascertained, entered the premises in the wee hours of Friday and removed the transformer cable before they calibrated it and went away unchallenged. The elderly security, who did not sustain any injury, said the thieves, whom he believes entered through the back fence, came straight to where he was sitting and tied him and threatening to slaughter him if he makes any noise or attempt to scare them away. He alleged that the thieves might have come with a vehicle to carry out the criminal act at the federal government old institute. In another development, another set of transformer thieves attacked the Narai village in the same wee hours and removed a transformer and the cable without anyone there to stop or confront them. The police public relations officer in Kaduna was unreachable as at the time of this report. You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News, and coming up next. The Nigeria Labour Congress creation of the tax reform bills. Details of these and more will come to you shortly. Just stay with us. We're glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTV News. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page as Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live update and comment, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. Two adult males fell into a diesel reservoir at Ikosi Oregon Road in Lagos. Investigations revealed that one of the men, an adult, accidentally fell into the diesel reservoir while walking, and the second adult male, in an attempt to rescue the first, also fell into the reservoir. Both victims sustained severe health conditions and were promptly transported to the hospital by the Lagos State Ambulance Service. First aid, including CPR, were administered on the victims immediately after they were rescued and were promptly evacuated and transported to the hospital for further medical attention, but unfortunately later died after receiving medical treatment. Currently, the incident scene has been secured and being accessed by emergency responders to determine further necessary action in order to prevent similar occurrences. Akinola Market, a weekly marketplace in Osun State, was engulfed by fire, destroying goods worth millions of naira. The incidents, which occurred late on Friday, caused panic among traders who had all gone home after the day's activities. Many rushed back to the market in distress after receiving calls about the inferno. A trader who preferred to remain anonymous for security reasons said the cause of the fire had not been determined, adding that the section affected was where tubers of yams were stored. When contacted for a reaction on Saturday, the Public Relations Officer of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Kainde Adeleke, suggested the fire might have been caused by refuse burning. Adeleke said the market was gutted by a late-night fire on Friday, 10th January 2025. The fire broke out in a section of the market where foodstuffs, particularly yam, were being sold. Properties and foodstuffs worth millions of naira were destroyed. Preliminary investigations revealed that the fire started from a refuse set ablaze by yet-to-be-identified individuals after the close of business on Friday. The national president of Nigeria Labour Congress, Comrade Joe Ajero, has criticized the lack of consultation with NLC and other stakeholders in the formulation of the tax reform bills, saying that the bills would exacerbate the tax burden on Nigerian workers, particularly those earning above 70,000 naira monthly. The Labour president stated this at the Central Working Committee meeting of the Nigeria Labour Congress and the launching of Southwest compressed natural gas buses held in Ibadan, Oyo State. Speaking with journalists, the national president, Nigeria Labour Congress, Comrade Joe Ajero, argued that the proposed tax reform would lead to double taxation and indirect taxation, which could affect all Nigerian workers. He noted that the current tax everyday transactions, such as VAT and POS charges, stresses that the taxes disproportionately affect low-income workers and the downtrodden. Earlier in his lecture titled Dialogue on Tax Reform Bill, the guest lecturer, Professor Godwin Oyedokun, Professor of Accounting and Financial Development, Leeds City University, Ibadan, urged the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC to scrutinize the proposed personal income tax rate, emphasizing that the NLC must carefully analyze the implications of the new tax rate on workers' salaries, ensuring they understand the mathematical calculations involved.
Currently being used is not the same thing as what is being proposed. What is being proposed is better than what is currently being used. However, it can be better than that because I'm also collecting salary and I pay tax, and I like to pay lesser than what I'm paying legitimately. So I charge NSL to go back to their drawing board, put crack team together to actually check this as it affects workers and restrict their scope to what the mandate they have.
At the end of the day, if there were 4 or 5 taxes, it has increased. You know, what was done was, as a policy, they now added them, and according to him, they chapterized them, gave them chapters, and then introduced new ones. Now, what that means, at the end of the day, you know, you have more to pay. We are calling for dialogue so that we make our own input. As practitioners, we are the people on the ground, and we know where it is pinching us. You know, unless you talk with people who are the background, who on daily basis go out there, go to the street, you may be talking above them.
The Commandant of the Air Force Institute of Technology, Kaduna, Air Vice Marshal Sani Rabi, has charged graduate engineers of the Institute to exhibit professional competence, due diligence and moral ethics in their practice. The Commandant made the call during the 2024 Graduate Engineers Induction held at the Ibrahim Alpha Auditorium, Afit, Kaduna on Saturday. No fewer than 400 graduates of the class of 2024 of Afit were inducted as members of the Nigerian Institute of Engineers. The Commandant, who was represented by the Institute's Provost, Professor Awal Kashin, noted that Afit has grown significantly since its establishment 40 years ago, evolving from a technical institution to a full-fledged university. He also highlighted Afit's commitment to collaborations with stakeholders, including the Nigerian Society of Engineers and the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria. Afit is a hub for engineering education, research and innovation, with 5 faculties offering 22 NEC accredited programs, a postgraduate school, and 2 faculties offering NBT accredited programs. Speaking, the President of Koren, Professor Sadiq Abubakar, reaffirmed the Council's dedication to ensuring the quality and standards of engineering education in the country. Governor Basani has refocused the Kaduna State Scholarship and Loans Board to reflect his administration's policy of inclusion without sacrificing merit. The Executive Secretary of the board, Professor Yahaya Salih Ibrahim, who disclosed this at a media briefing, said that the governor's new template has started bearing fruit. Professor Ibrahim said that students from humble backgrounds and those from rural local government and remote rural communities are now benefiting from foreign scholarships, which has expanded and enriched the Kaduna State Scholarship Award system. The Executive Secretary noted that in the past, beneficiaries of foreign scholarships were mostly from urban local governments like Kaduna North, Kaduna South, Igabi Zaria, Sabon Gari, Jama'ah and Zangun Kataf local government. According to the Executive Secretary, prior to the coming of Governor Basani, the beneficiaries were mostly from middle and upper middle class families who attended elite secondary schools and whose parents can sponsor their awards to any university. The deliberate effort to include students from remote local government and those from humble backgrounds to benefit from the scholarship scheme without lowering standards. The leadership of the Miati Allah Cattle Breeders Association Social Culture Group and people of Agatu local government area of Benue have pledged their commitments to fostering peace and bring to end the recurring clashes between herders and farmers, which has led to wanton destruction of property, farmlands and loss of lives. The meeting, which took place in Obagaji, the headquarters of Agatu local government area, had critical stakeholders including traditional rulers and representatives of the Miati Allah group coming together to seek lasting peace, while vowing to expose and report any criminal elements disrupting the harmonious coexistence between herders and the Agatu people. They emphasized the importance of mutual understanding and collaboration in sustaining peace in the area.
nace Karumbaya tsakanin mu Fulani da Agatu.
We have come to appeal to them to kindly forgive us over what has happened so that we can live together and continue to live together. We are here in recognition of the peace effort we have been doing all this while in Agatu local government, and it's paying off because today we saw more chiefs, the local government chairman, everybody is present to ensure that we have permanent peace in Agatu local government. We grew up here, this is where we used to know as home, and want to come back and continue to live together peacefully in Agatu local government area of Benin State.
There had been several chairmen before him, and things never his side. By the grace of God, we are getting there.
That peace should reign in Agatu between the farmers and the herders. Agatu accepted to wholeheartedly forgive and forget the past. The Fulani, on their part, have agreed to expose or fish out any of their sons who is a criminal element within our land and destroying our crops. It is also our agreement, the Fulani tendered unreserved apology for every wrong they have done to Agatu people. And we also agree that where some of our criminal youth took law into their hand, we also tender such apology. And we have decided to forgive each other.
Meanwhile, Chairman of Agatu Local Government Area, Melvin Eje, who initiated the peace process, announced the establishment of a 14-member committee tasked with consolidating the gains of the peace meeting, said stable peace is a prerequisite for growth and development in any community. It will be recalled that farmers' herders crisis has affected more than 14 Benue communities in the last 6 years with tremendous losses. It is hoped that this peace initiative will be sustained. You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News. Let's quickly take a break, and when we return, the news continues. Just stay with us. We're glad to have you back now to carry the rest of the stories. Following the 1st January attack on Angwan village, Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State, where properties was destroyed worth millions of naira, this attack has been happening since 2018. Alhaji Shaya Unisom, chairman Ugom Progressive Union, while narrating his ordeal, says upon reaching the village, they began shooting sporadically at doors, likely to ensure no one was hiding inside. Most of the attackers were dressed in Nigerian army uniforms. Sadly, the terrorists looted and vandalized valuable properties and farm harvest. They spent about 3 to 4 hours packing the villagers' belongings and transporting them to their camp at free will, as the helpless villagers had fled for their lives, abandoning everything they owned.
1st of January this year, 2025, around 1 p.m., terrorists invaded there's a community under us called Ungwarugu. Yeah, they came to the village on motorbike, about 30 of them. Each of the motorbike carries 3 of the bandits with their guns, including the driver of the motorbike. Also has his own weapon. So on getting to the village, they begin to shoot.
The community members have continued to lament over a lack of government presence. They say the terrorists arrived on 30 motorcycles, with each motorcycle carrying 3 terrorists.
I've been suffering this attack from this bandit, and in my own community, where I am the chairman, there is no any physical security men or outposts. To the best of my knowledge, when this attack came to be, I try my effort as a community leader to reach out to government, and I spoke to our councillor, but I will equally make an effort to reach the local government chairman. But when I called him on phone, he returned to me that he is in a very busy place that he cannot talk to me. Honestly, we have been suffering attack.
The Kano state government has hailed the judgments delivered by the Court of Appeal Abuja Division regarding the Emirate Council matter involving the 5th Emir of Kano, Alhaji Muhammad Sanusi II, and other parties. The State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Haruna Dederi made this known on Saturday while addressing a World Press Conference at the Nigerian Union of Journalists Press Center, Kano. According to him, the verdict, which overturned earlier decisions by the Federal High Court, validates the government's lawful actions regarding the chieftaincy appointment and reforms in the state traditional institutions. The Dederi therefore highlighted that the judgment further clarifies the rightful jurisdiction over chieftaincy matters, underscoring the constitutional boundaries of the court in such affairs. Furthermore, the law enacted by the Kano State House of Assembly relating to emirates and all actions taken by His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, in pursuant to that law, have been fully upheld and legalized by the Court of Appeal. The Kogi State government has set aside over 78 billion naira to revamp an additional 88 primary healthcare centers across the 21 local government areas in the state. Governor Ahmed Ododo disclosed this at a ceremony held on Saturday at the Model Primary Healthcare Center in Felele, Lokoja, the state capital. During the official handing of the 88 additional primary healthcare centers to contractors by the state government for revitalization across the state, Ododo, who the revitalization of the new set of 88 healthcare centers follows the commencement of the revitalization of over 70 primary healthcare centers, which are already at various stages of completion, put in approval by the state government in March 2024. He noted that the revamping of the primary healthcare centers, which will upgrade over 150 such institutions in the state to functional level 2 health facilities, reflect the commitment of the present administration to enhance access to healthcare delivery across the state. He added that the upgrade of primary healthcare facilities is part of the strategic plan of the Kogi State government to improve access to quality healthcare services in all parts of the state, with support by the World Bank. The Ekiti Agro-Allied International Cargo Airport, Ado Ekiti, welcomed a B-Craft 3501 aircraft as part of activities for the commencement of full operations. This is coming barely a month after the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority granted approval. Legal advisor to Ekiti State Governor on Airports Project, AVM Sunday Makinde, said that the flight, which was conveyed by Nigerian Airspace Management Agency officials, was a walking flight operation. He said it is a special plane, a calibration plane from the NAMA. The State Commissioner for Information, Taiwo Olatunbosun, added that the flight was to check out the regulatory and digital equipment that is attached to the operation of the airport. It is expected that the commencement of operations at the airport is going to transform the economic space of Ekiti and ensure that Ekiti becomes a destination of industrialization. Since the present administration assumed office in the first quarter of 2023, President Bola Tinubu has launched some reforms which has had great impact on the economy. These reforms has led to high inflation of goods and services, which is why some Nigerians believe government can still do more to cushion the effect of these policies. Galaxy TV Bosa Nyakasek has details in this report. No doubt, the removal of high petrol subsidies by President Bola Tinubu's administration and the decision to let the exchange rate of the naira float has had adverse effects on the economy. A litre of petrol now costs more than 3 times what it did 11 months ago, while the price of staple food like rice has more than doubled in the past year. Overall, annual inflation, which is the average rate at which price goes up, is now close to 30%, the highest figure in nearly 3 decades, and the cost of food has risen even more, by 35%. Nigerians say these are challenging times for them as the economy is now unbearable, especially to the common man.
In this country, we eat, drink, and give another people that they didn't have. But for now, before you carry 5 naira to give person, it's a very bad challenges to us. Our condition is we are facing in this Nigeria. Please make government please to help us. Let government please entire the environment, entire all Nigeria government, please let them try to help us. Please, we are suffering.
Things are very hard. We want the government to help us. Things are very hard. People are suffering. The country, everything is bad. So we need their help, because without them we cannot cope. The things are very expensive in the market. So we need them to help us.
Nigeria is currently experiencing its worst economic crisis in recent times, leading to widespread hardship and hunger. These two figures highlight the difficulties that many Nigerians are facing as wages have not kept up with the rising cost of living, and some say these have affected their lifestyle as the festive season reminded them only but the past.
Things is too cost in the market. You cannot even buy chicken. Chicken of 5,000 before is now 25,000. So we just manage to celebrate because things is not easy at all. Even local of rice is too cost. We just pray that it should just make things possible for so that next Christmas we'll celebrate it well without having this costliness of things in the market again.
It's not really easy per se. The chicken we normally buy at maybe 5,000. Presently, you hardly get it at 15 to 20,000, which is not really easy to actually celebrate to the fullest and to also extend your hands to people within the community, the needies, and almost talk about the rice and other ingredients in the market. It's not really affordable for the masses.
Many are going hungry, rationing what food they have or looking for cheaper alternatives just to survive. In the north, some people are now eating rice that is normally discarded as part of the milling process, while most people now resort to sweet potatoes as their new norm.
Look into the poor ones, because not everybody can afford what is going on in the market. If you go to the market to buy something that you cannot buy it, at least if governor do things very well for us, it lets the price of market, it lets the price of rice, price of things. Nothing is, if in the most important thing, if we come down, things, everything will come down in the market. Because if you go to the, if you want to go from here to Sabu, they will tell you 500, 700. So this Christmas, just make it, everybody make it at home. Nobody can go from one place to another to go and visit his sister or brothers, because things is too cost. The transport is too much for us.
The government have the machineries if really they want to embark on price control. But looking at the corrupt practices in this country will not allow us. But the government can still enforce it so that there will be price control and prices of items will go down. But the main key is the issue of fuel. But I want to appreciate Dangote. Dangote is really trying, is really challenging this government, and you can see the price of petrol is coming down, less than 1,000 naira. But hopefully, if this price is being controlled minimally, it's going to affect everything and the market price will stabilize.
And I'll move over to the foreign desk for more news. Hello and welcome to Foreign News. The largest of the raging wildfires have devastated parts of Los Angeles this week was reported to have shifted direction on Saturday, triggering more evacuation orders and posing a new challenge to exhausted firefighters. 6 simultaneous blazes that have ripped across Los Angeles County neighborhoods since Tuesday have killed at least 11 people and damaged or destroyed 10,000 structures. The toll is expected to mount when firefighters are able to conduct house-to-house searches. The fierce Santa Ana wind that found edge was headed in a new direction, prompting another evacuation order as it edged towards the Brentwood neighborhood and the San Fernando Valley foothills, the Los Angeles Times report. The Palisades fire has got a new significant flare-up on the eastern portion and continues to northeast. LA Fire Department Captain Eric Scott told local station, according to a report on the LA, the fire, the most destructive in the history of Los Angeles, has razed whole neighborhoods to the ground, leaving just the smoldering ruins of what had been people's homes and possessions. Before the latest flare-up, firefighters had reported progress in subduing the Palisades fire and the Eton fire in the foothills east of the metropolis after it burned out of control for days. On Friday night, the Palisades fire was 8% contained and the Eton fire 3%. State agency CAL FIRE said the two big fires combined had consumed 35,000 hectares or 45 square miles, 2.5 times the land area of Manhattan. Some 153,000 people remained under evacuation orders and another 166,800 face evacuation warnings, with a curfew in place for all evacuation zones. 2 wounded North Korean soldiers have been captured as prisoners of war by Ukrainian troops in Russia's Kursk blast, President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Saturday. The 2 men are receiving necessary medical assistance, are in the custody of the Security Service of Ukraine in Kyiv, according to Zelensky. The president said he was grateful to Ukrainian paratroopers and soldiers from the Special Operation Forces for capturing the North Koreans. He added that this was not an easy task, claiming that Russian and North Korean soldiers usually execute wounded North Koreans to erase any evidence of North Korea's involvement in the war against Ukraine to SBU investigators, and he had instructed the Security Service of Ukraine to grant journalists access to them. The world needs to know the truth about what is happening, he added. Zelensky also posted photographs of 2 wounded men but did not provide evidence that they were North Koreans. One image showed a Russian army ID card issued to a 26-year-old man from Russia's Tver region bordering Mongolia. Some reports have said Russia is hiding North Korean fighters by giving them fake IDs. In December, South Korea's intelligence agency reported that a North Korean soldier, believed to have been the first to be captured while supporting Russia's war in Ukraine, had died after being taken alive by Ukrainian forces. The black boxes holding flight data and cockpit voice recorders of Jeju Air Boeing 737-800 jet stopped recording about 4 minutes before the plane disaster in South Korea in December, the country's transport ministry has said. Jeju Air's flight 7C-2216 was flying from Thailand to Muan International Airport in South Korea on December 29 when it barely landed, slammed into a concrete barrier and exploded, killing 179 of the 181 passengers and crew. It was the worst ever aviation disaster on South Korean soil. The localizer is a barrier at the end of the runway that helps with aircraft landings and was blamed for exacerbating the crash severity. The voice recorder was initially analyzed in South Korea and when data was found to be missing was sent to the United States National Transportation Safety Board Laboratory, the ministry said. But it appears that the boxes holding clues to the flight's final moment experienced data loss, leaving authorities trying to find out what happened. Sim Jae-dong, a former Transport Ministry accident investigator, told newsmen that the discovery of the missing data was surprising and suggested all power, including backup, may have been caught in the plane, which is rare. Investigators said the boxes were crucial to their probe, but added they would not give up on trying to find out why the crash happened. Investigators have pointed to a bird strike, faulty landing gear, and the runway barrier as possible issues. The pilot had also warned of a bird strike before pulling out of the first landing and initiating a go-around, but insisted on making a full go-about. The Boeing 737-800 jet took a sharp turn and approached the airport's single runway from the opposite end, crash landing into landing gear deployed. Still on foreign news, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, whose nearly 12 years in office have been marked by deep economic and social crisis, was sworn in for a third term. Despite a 6-month-long election dispute, international called for him to stand aside and an increase in the U.S. reward offered for his capture. Maduro, president since 2013, was declared the winner of July's election by both Venezuela's electoral authority and top court, though detailed tallies confirming his victory have never been published. Venezuela's opposition says ballot box level tallies show a landslide win for his former candidate Edmundo Gonzalez, who is recognized as president-elect by several countries, including the United States. International election observers said the vote was not democratic. The months since the election have seen Gonzalez's flights to Spain in September, his ally Maria Corina Machado going into hiding in Venezuela, and the detentions of high-profile opposition figures and protesters. In the latest in a series of punitive steps, the outgoing Biden administration increased its reward for information, leading to the arrest of or conviction of Maduro on drug trafficking charges to $25 million from a previous $15 million. It also issued a $25 million reward for Interior Minister Diosdado Cabello and a $15 million reward for Defense Minister Vladimir Padrino, as well as new sanctions against 8 other officials, including the head of state oil company PDVSA, Hector Obregon. The U.S. indicted Maduro and others on narcotic and corruption charges, among others, in 2020. Maduro has rejected the accusations. The U.S. move considered with sanctions by Britain and the European Union, each targeting 15 officials, targeting 14 current and former officials. The Maduro government has always rejected all sanctions, saying they are illegitimate measures that amount to an economic war designed to cripple Venezuela. Thousands of South Koreans have continued to gather for rival protests in Seoul as investigators prepare another attempt to arrest suspended President Yoon Suk-yeol over his short-lived martial law decree amid warnings against potential bloodshed. Protesters both for and against Yoon gathered in sub-zero conditions along major roads in the center of the country's capital on Saturday, either demanding his arrest or calling for his impeachment to be declared invalid. Yoon has been resisting arrest in a standoff between his guards and investigators last week after his failed December 3rd power grab plunged South Korea into its worst political crisis in decades. On Friday, Park Chung-jong, Yoon's chief of security, resigned from his post after being investigated for blocking the embattled president's arrest. Park warned that any further effort to detain the ex-leader must avoid violence. He told reporters that the current attempt to arrest Yoon was wrong and that there should not be any physical clash or bloodshed under any circumstances. On Saturday, Park was again placed under questioning for blocking Yoon's arrest. And finally, on foreign news, air attacks by Myanmar's military in the western state of Rakhine this week killed dozens of people, the United Nations said, as the country continues to be mired in that military government